How's it going, everyone? I'm doing an attachment video as it was requested in one of my recent videos. I just want to make it clear that this is just mine and my friend Jake's opinions, so if you have your own attachments that you think we should try out, make sure you let me know in the comments. I just want to point out that our display of recoil control was not the best as we were really tired, so my apologies for lack of professionalism. In this video, we pretty much go over every weapon, so all the timestamps will be in the description and in the pinned comment. With all that being said, I hope this video helps you out, and enjoy.
Okay, so on the L85, we have 1.5 times and flash hider with vertical grip. I've got my recoil here. As you can see, these attachments are good. I normally go like down and a little bit right with this gun.
Red dot C, extended barrel, and the vertical grip on the SMG-11. The SMG-11, if you are absolutely hopeless, switch to the flash hider or compensator, but trust me, it is worth it. Might not look like it, but yeah, see, that was alright. You can get used to it. But
so next we got the R4C on Ash. So what I have on this gun is the hollow A with extended barrel and vertical grip. Right, this is one mistake I see everyone doing in like plat lobbies. Stop picking Ash if you're not a frag operator, please. If you don't know how to frag, stop picking her, because I mean, I normally do frag, but I don't play Ash. She's not very helpful. So if you're in plat, stop playing Ash and play more support ops. You'll help your team and you'll get high rank.
so on Castle, we've got the extended barrel, then the 1.5 and the angle grip. You want to adjust it accordingly to where your bullets are going, because it's kind of a hit and miss gun.
For the 5.56 on Thermite, you're gonna want the 1.5 times, flash hider, and vertical grip. The gun rarely has recoil anyway, but suppressor, it's not useful because you're already quite a loud operator with the breach. So I run flash hider because it's easier to control recoil with it.
So on dark, you want to be running the extended barrel, vertical grip on 1.5. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. You can easily control it.
On the F2, you want to run 1.5 times with flash hider. I have seen people use compensator, but it's easier to control recoil with the flash hider, in my opinion. So yeah, F2 still a very solid gun. They did like nerf it. I'm not sure if they like reverted that nerf or anything, because it has seemed like a lot easier to control in recent times. As soon as the camera's on, the recoil goes a bit floppy, but it is what it is.
So for Rook, it's basically the same situation as dark. You just want to be running the 2 times instead. The extended barrel, you don't really need a flash hider or anything, because especially with the 2 times, the recoil won't be as drastic. But yeah, you should be able to control it just fine.
Right. So for the AUG, I have the 1.5 times and the flash hider. On defense, you can just run hollow A. IQ's gun is, I mean, I'd personally use the commando over this because I just prefer it. If you do fancy using the AUG, you can use the suppressor as well. Suppressor's not too bad on IQ, as you don't really want to be spotted with her, because a lot of people go downstairs below with IQ's gadget to see people's gadgets from upstairs.
So for KAPKAN, you want the red dot C, preferably hollow A if you're not going to use the red dot C. In my opinion, they're the best 2 1-time sights in the game. And you want the extended barrel, that's if you can control it. If you can't, use flash hider. The recoil really isn't that hard. I mean, you go down and left. I mean, it's the same situation with most guns in this game.
Okay, so for Book, it really depends on your playstyle. You can use rather suppressor or extended barrel on this gun. Normally I run extended barrel, but recoil's been a bit rough lately on this gun, so I'll just be using flash hider.
So for TACHANKA, it's going to be the same, but with a 2 times. This is because the 2 times is obviously better than a 1 times, but it might be a slightly harder to control, so I recommend putting the flash hider on. So as you can see, it's a lot easier to control with a flash hider. And for the secondary, you just need a bearing 9. And for this, you want the extended barrel and whatever sight you see fit. I prefer the red dot C or the hollow A.
The CQB on Blackbeard, I use 1.5 times extended barrel and vertical. Yeah, this gun has practically like no recoil to begin with, and seeing as you're going to have a shield protecting your head, you're going to want as much damage as possible for the slow fire rate of the gun. So yeah, extended barrel all the way with this gun. Have a better recoil for you.
So for Jaeger, personally, I would use flash hider because the extended barrel is just so bouncy, especially if you go with the headshots. I mean, you're going to be at close range anyway. Personally, I would run flash hider. Do what you see fit. I mean, if you want that extra damage, if you're not hitting headshots, go ahead, but I prefer the flash hider, more consistent.
So for the M249, basically the same concept with like most of the other guns. 1.5 times best scope in the game, flash hider and vertical. Simple recoil control on this LMG, just to the left pretty much.
I would honestly go for the MP7. In my opinion, best gun in the game. I run the flash hider. If I'm having a good day, I'll be using the extended barrel, but yeah, once you get it down, it really isn't that hard. It's my personal favourite gun.
Okay, so for the Type 89, Hibana's gun, I use 1.5 times and compensator, and with vertical grip. Personally, I find compensator easier to control with. I don't know. Yeah, this gun's a laser. If you know how to hit headshots, you're basically acing on the whole team if you use this gun. Hibana is also probably like the best hard breacher to use. She's a very underrated one. Not many people use her, so definitely take advantage of Hibana.
So Frost is probably the easiest operator in the entire game to play. She has one of the easiest guns to control. You always want to be using angled, especially with the extended barrel for the extra damage, because I'll show you now, it is so easy to control.
Okay, for the C7E on Jackal, I use 1.5 times and suppressor with vertical, simply because of his playstyle. His playstyle is very sneaky. You want to be creeping up on people when you're using Jackal, and this gun's a laser. Like, it does not move when you control recoil. So yeah, definitely use the C7E on Jackal if you don't already.
So for Valkyrie, you want to be running, personally I use the Holiday and the extended barrel. One of the easiest guns in the game to control as well.
For the T95 LSW, you want to be using 1.5 times and flash hider with vertical. You know the drill. Another LMG. I use this setup on all LMGs pretty much. Yeah, easiest to control. 80 bullets. You have 80 chances at a kill. If you use Ying and you use LMG, you're almost guaranteed a kill.
For KAVEIRA, obviously another sneaky op. You want to be using the pistol to your advantage as much as possible. The damage is outrageous. Now for the primary, I also use the red dot C and the suppressor on it, because obviously you want to be sneaky. Like, you've got a silence pistol, you may as well have a silence primary. Especially with the damage output and the recoil, it just bounces out. Like, there's barely any recoil when I go down and left, and it's just so easy to control.
Okay, so for the M76-2 on ZOFIA, I use 1.5 times with compensator and vertical grip. It's kind of like bipolar. Sometimes you feel like going down and right, sometimes you feel like going down and left. But other than that, use compensator on this gun, it is a lot better. For the LMG-E for ZOFIA, what you want to be using is the 1.5 times and the compensator again with vertical grip. This is 150 tries at a kill. My recoil is not the best today, but oh well. It's pretty much down and left, but yeah, 150 tries at a kill. Yeah.
On MIRA, I use the flash hider because the fire rate is stupidly fast, and I also use the red dot C because it's the most accurate in the game. The vertical is just, it speaks for itself. The recoil is stupid on this gun. You've got that fire rate, you may as well use it. So if you've got that fire rate, if you're pre-firing head height, you're most likely going to get a headshot.
Okay, so for the V308 for Lion, I use 1.5 times and suppressor. You can use flash hider as well, it's up to you. Vertical grip. So yeah, after our Lion scan, I like to, you know, suppress them down. The amount of mags on the floor. Back to Jake.
Right, for Lesion, right. We're going to be using the hollow A and the extended barrel, and the vertical grip. Personally, the extended barrel, I mean, the flash hider doesn't really do much on this gun because the recoil is almost non-existent.
For the 6v41 on FINKA, you want to be using 1.5 times with flash hider and vertical grip. I use that practically on everyone. This LMG is a goated LMG. I use this over the spear. Yeah, with this LMG setup, you probably won't be missing bullets like me.
So on Ella, if you're an absolute Sasquatch, you will use suppressor, right? And I personally am not a Sasquatch, so I won't use one of them. I'll use a flash hider. This is one of my most played operators because I'm not gonna say the reason, but yeah.
So for the M4 on Maverick, what I'll be using is 1.5 times extended barrel and vertical. Sometimes you can use suppressor. This gun's a laser, so it does not really matter what you use. But if I was you, I'd go for the extended barrel or suppressor, depending on what type of push you want to do. So yeah, gun practically just doesn't move anywhere. I have a load of clips of this gun. I'll probably put on the screen my best one right now. Hey, wait. Watch this, Jinx.
The K1A on Vigil is one of the best guns in the game. You want to be running vertical grip or angle grip. You want to be running any attachment. Any of them are good, genuinely any. Personally, I would use extended barrel or suppressor, but go for whatever one you want. I use hollow A, extended barrel and vertical grip. On the SMG-12, one of the best SMGs in the game, even for a secondary, it beats some of the main guns. You want to be using red dot C because that's the most accurate, and vertical grip. The recoil's not that bad, especially if you're sneaking up on people, which is probably what you'll be doing with Vigil or holding down sight. You know, you'll most likely be roaming anyway.
So for the AK-74 on Nomad, I use 1.5 times and compensator. The horizontal movement is quite wiggly on this weapon, so yeah, you'll definitely want to be using the compensator on it. So yeah, I don't use this gun a lot, so let me off.
So for Maestro, you want to be using the ALDA. I mean, you can use the other gun, but you're a bit of a crackhead if you use it. For an LMG, that really isn't that bad if you ask me.
For the F90 for Gridlock, I use 1.5 times extended barrel and vertical grip. This is like one of my least played ops. And yeah, definitely use extended barrel on this because this gun is an absolute laser.
So for Alibi, you want to be using... Personally, I use the extended barrel because I've been using this gun for ages. But I would also use flash hider. I mean, so the recoil, once you master it, it's not actually that bad. Like, as you can see, after about 10-20 bullets, it does veer off. Like, it's like Ella's gun. They increase it with every patch, it seems like.
For the FMG-9 on NOKK, I think this one's kind of obvious, but I have 1.5 times and suppressor. So you shouldn't really have to worry about your recoil on this weapon, to be honest, because you're most likely going to catch the enemy off guard. But yeah, like the gun's practically a laser anyway. The FMG-9 is probably one of the best guns in the game. So
this SMG is actually really good. I mean, the recoil is ass, but honestly, when you hit headshots and the actual overall damage is really good.
For AMARU, I have 1.5 times flash hider and angled grip. Angled grip is pretty obvious. Like, as soon as you rappel through a window, you're gonna need to aim in fast because You're probably rushing if you're playing AMARU. You know who you are. Easiest attachment to control. This gun is a laser. It's probably the best, like the best, if not one of the best guns in the game. The gun doesn't move. Decent damage, decent fire rate.
So for Cade, I use the TCSG personally because I just love the fact that you can, with a suppressor, because they buff suppressor, there's no damage drop off now. So the TCSG, it's hit or miss. I mean, the recoil's not that bad, especially at close range or mid range. But personally, if you're not very good with tap-fire weapons like DMR, shotguns, I would go for the other gun, the AUG-3. It is very good, especially with the extended barrel. Okay, the recoil is pretty much non-existent, so if you don't like tap-fire weapons like DMR, shotguns, choose this gun over it.
Okay, so for the ARX200, if this gun has a 1.5 times, take it. Really, any sight's preference. Personally like this gun without a sight. Iron sights aren't always bad, like they do cover up a lot of the screen, but sometimes like certain iron sights can actually like help out. Like the recoil control is practically non-existent on this gun as well. So moving on to the G36C, I use 1.5 times extended barrel and vertical grip. Yeah, I really like the way this gun shoots. Extended barrel is probably the best because the gun's practically a laser anyway. You don't really need any other. I mean, it is also really good with suppressor as well. Like I said before, like it all depends on your playstyle. If you're planning on just being a dog running in, absolutely gunning people down, I'd use extended barrel. And if you plan on playing it passively and maybe not being seen, use suppressor.
So for Mozzie, you can use either gun. They are really both amazing. The P10 is my personal favourite on Mozzie. I mean, you want to be using vertical grip because of the long range with the 1.5, but if your aim's good and you want that recoil control to hit headshots, go with a flash hider. It's almost non-existent, but then it seems to jump up on you out of nowhere. See, there you go. That was a good one.
For Ace, he's a hard breacher. Like you don't really need suppressor, so I use flash hider. Easiest thing to control again, 1.5 times. You know, the usual setup I have on most guns. 31 bullets. The gun is an absolute laser. So yeah, you probably won't be missing shots with this thing. As long as you know how to pull down on your right analog stick, you should be fine controlling the recoil.
So what am I? Personally, I use the extended barrel because the recoil is not huge on this gun. The recoil, it's a bit hit or miss. I mean, if you know how to do it, if you've been practicing, you know, I haven't really had a warm-up today, so I'm not the best with it, but with the flash hider, you should easily be able to do it. With the extended barrel, you might need a bit more work, like I do.
Okay, so for Zero's SC3000K, I don't use this weapon a lot. I mean, like, I'm missing out because this gun is probably one of the best. If it had more bullets, it probably would be the best. I use 1.5 times extended barrel and vertical grip. This gun absolutely just doesn't move when you use it.
You can also use the DMR if you're good with them. I mean, personally, I would use a suppressor on it with the 1.5 and the vertical. If you're tap firing at a medium pace, you should be able to control it easily. If you're close range and you know you're spamming it, you know, you don't really need to control it that much. I mean, if you're going for headshots as well, you don't really want to be spamming it either.
So for the AR33, I have the standard setup, 1.5 times flash hider and vertical grip. The gun, again, it's a laser, doesn't move. I could control the recoil with my eyes closed whilst picking my nose whilst being in the toilet. Like, it's such an easy gun to control.
Right, so on the Thunderbird, you want to be using the spear. Personally, I would use the red dot C, whatever that is, because the fire rate and the accuracy just go hand in hand.
Okay, for the PDW9, I have 1.5 times extended barrel and vertical grip. I mean, on OSA, you're going to have a shield in front of your face, and you have 51 bullets. You can basically just let it loose on them. You don't really need to be as accurate with this op. So yeah, and the gun the gun only moves after like a certain amount of bullets. So yeah.
On the phone, she has a unique gun, which is actually not that old of a gun. It's quite a new one. But personally, I would use the hollow because of the bounciness. It kind of just seems to stay in the center. Extended barrel, it's not that hard to control, especially because it's a close range weapon. You don't really want to be using it long range. If you have to, it's definitely controllable, and you should be able to get a headshot or at least down them. I'm gonna pull down and left, and as you can see, it's just a complete beam.
So the POF9 on Sense, they completely like ruined this gun when it first came out. Like it was going to the sky. But yeah, I run 1.5 times compensator and vertical grip on this gun. Yeah, people just threw off Sense. He's a 3-speed now. He's definitely underrated because no one plays him. If they didn't ruin him off the get-go, I think he would definitely be more played now. But yeah, this gun is really, really good. 51 bullets with compensator, and it does 35 damage. So you're probably gonna laser anyone with this gun.
For soloist, you want to be using the P90. I mean, the P90, the damage is, it's just not there. That's why you legit need the extended barrel. The recoil really isn't that bad. It looks like it is, but trust me, when you're in a gunfight, it's a lot easier because of the fire rate.
Okay, so for the 5.52 commando, I run 1.5 times extended barrel and vertical grip. So you can use suppressor if you want, but on this gun, extended barrel is the best in my opinion. The gun doesn't really move anywhere anyway, so you should be fine. I'm a bit of an L presenter, as the game is telling me right here.
So for my final operator, I'm on Fenrir. I wasn't going to do this operator because it has the MP7 like Bandit does, and it has the bailiff like a lot of other operators do. But personally, I would run the suppressor because you want to be sneaking up behind people. You can also use extended barrel. I mean, it depends what your playstyle is, but I mean it'll be the same recoil because it doesn't help. But you can also use flash hider, but personally I would use either extended barrel so you can go all out with the damage, or suppressor to be sneaky. Yeah, that's a lot better.
Okay, so the last gun is the Para 308. I actually haven't used Brava yet, believe it or not. But yeah, this gun again, it's just a laser. Easy gun to control. That's why I run extended barrel on it. So that's it for the attachments video. I hope this helped someone out. Thanks for that guy for suggesting me to do this video, and thanks for Jake for helping me. But yeah, his link will also be in the description. So yeah, so I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Keenan Live signing off. I'm Diamond One.
So yeah, I use 1.5 times the suppressor. But I'm redoing it.
So on Vigil, honestly, this is the most free range egg gun. Like, you can use anything, you can feed it anything, man. Okay, right. Okay.